What's good, everyone? I'm starting another personal project portfolio piece, and this is for the online coach, Raymond Querido. And this is a fitness coach that I've been following on IG for probably at least a year. I saw him on the Mark Bell podcast and I started following him, and I thought, creating a landing page for him and his services would be a great portfolio piece, and of course possibly pitch the site to him in the future would be nice as well. I'll talk about that later. But I'm in Premiere Pro right now, just kind of scrubbing through this footage, and I'm starting off with just the typefaces. On this one, I want to see what different fonts look like, and also just asset gathering. And I remember when I started this, it was hard to get going and I didn't know where to start really. And so I think I remember I was just like, well, let me just start with the fonts. What do I think would match the online coach's style, and what are the different icons that would go with it? It didn't have to make sense, I just needed to start. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just starting with fonts. And I think I'm in what I usually do, I'll look in Google Fonts and also Adobe Fonts and see which ones kind of look good. The challenge always is, for me, is not spending too much time on this stuff, which I tend to do, and I'm still learning to get myself out of it. But I'm just trying to get myself going so that I could move on to the next thing. But for now, I'm just working on fonts. It's a step forward. So I'm back working with different icons that I could use. One of the things too, and a lot of the inspiration for these icons was obviously specific to Raymond's personality, and a lot of his stuff that luckily I had a lot to reference from, because he has a lot of content online. He's been, especially on YouTube, I watched a ton of his videos that go back to 10 years, 11 years. And so I had a lot to work with. Obviously, since this is a personal project, I don't get to ask all the necessary questions about his brand and stuff like that. So all I have to work with is what's in front of me. And I had a lot to work with as far as content and understanding his background, where he comes from, and kind of what he does on a daily, and strength training, fucking running, and nutrition is his lifestyle. It's his everyday, and family, of course. What I learned about him is what he does every day. He's consistent. He's a super chill guy. Sounds like someone that I would want to just chill with and have a beer with. He seems that cool, from what I gather from the stuff that I was watching. He also seems very stoic and humble. And one of the things that I found kind of interesting was that I don't know, a lot of people know who Mark Bell is. And I just kind of felt like, more people should know who this dude is. Everyone knows him as an online coach, but I decided in, a lot of the branding elements to include his name. Because once you hire homeboy, you're going to know his name, obviously, but outward facing, online, he's known as the online coach. And I think people should know his name. I think people should know how long he's been doing this for. He's been doing it for a long time. He has a background and stuff. He lives this shit. And I felt like when I was doing this, starting this project and working on it, a lot of people should know what he's all about. He's super humble about it, so I don't think he markets himself like that, because he's not really tripping. He's just working with his expertise and selling his programs and services, his online training and one-on-one personal training and stuff like that. He's just working with that. That was kind of my approach. And this thing I'm working on is not a logo, but it's just a mark that I wanted to use, and was inspired by the Hex dumbbell, seeing what the icons look like here inside of this mark. And then that's illustrated right there. That's all my brainstorming, all the screenshots of the different, website references, and a lot of the crap that I started out with that I didn't actually post. Well, I might have posted it. I actually don't remember. But when I was, I go through several iterations of logo design, so that was like the beginning of it right there. So he currently has 2 different websites. So a lot of the information gathering I was using, I was working off of those 2 websites as far as like content, especially, body copy, and just learning more about him and what he offers. And here I'm pulling that red color from one of his sites, and I end up using that as one of the primary colors for the logo and a lot of his other identity stuff. I'm spending a lot of time on these little icons here to kind of make it personalized. One thing that I'm realizing later is, especially based on the size of that mark, how much those little icons are going to stand out. So I kind of realized that towards the end of working on this, from what I can remember, and I just decided to use like the diamond, like just the diamond symbol without the little icons in there, because it's just going to be hard to read at the size I'm going to put it on the website. So I ended up ditching it after all that. At least I, try and see what it looks like, because maybe I can make it work, or maybe I think of something else. But so you can see the diamonds that I put on both sides. I believe I end up using that. So I think it looks a lot better. It makes more sense. There's a lot going on in that mark in itself, so having those little icons in there is just, no one's gonna pay attention to that shit. Trying more, like seeing what else I could add to the logo lockup that would possibly be used in top left of the nav bar on the landing page. It's a lot of information on there. Usually I just like to add everything and just add everything I think will look good, and then just take it out later, make it more minimal. Just want to see what it looks like. So I'm coming down to the end of this session right here, zooming out to look at everything, see how everything looks, and yeah, I think it looks okay. I'm actually happy with the mark and how it evolves. So if you guys stuck around this long, I appreciate you. Hope you all have a good one. Peace.